Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be speaking about a pretty interesting topic today. I'm going to be speaking about one of the beliefs. My claim is that in our day and age today, a lot of our media's changed drastically. I remember growing up when I would play video games and stuff. I remember how everything was consoleized. I didn't really come in from like computers were fairly a rare commodity when growing up. Pretty much in the 90s, not until like later on that we see the computers start coming out. And no one would imagine the way they would be like they are today. No one would imagine how fast the internet grew. And one of the things a lot of people talk about nowadays is piracy. Piracy is everywhere for music, software, gaming, you name it. Everything gets pirated nowadays. Particularly, I'm talking about gaming piracy. There's a lot of methods a lot of companies are trying to do, and my claim is that one of the methods they use is a particular method called DRM. It's short for Digital Rights Media Management. Digital Rights Management. And sometimes these DRMs are not really the best solution because they tend to punish more the person. It's more of an obtrusion more so you would say, because they tend to be more problematic for people that actually legally buy the software rather than pirate it, because once it's pirated, most of the DRM, I would say, deterrent never works at that point. For example, here's a quote from Gabe Newell. He's a co-founder of Steam, one of the largest digital distributors. He says, in general, we think there's a fundamental misconception about piracy. Piracy is almost a service problem and not a pricing problem. For example, if a pirate offers a product anywhere in the world 24/7, purchasable from a convenience of your personal computer, and the legal provider says the product is region locked, will come to your country 3 months after the US release date, and can only be purchased at a brick and mortar store, then the pirate service is more valuable. Most DRM solutions diminish the value of the product by either directly restricting a customer's use or by creating uncertainty. For another example, there was a statistic posted on the Huffington Post. They did according to this article, they did a study that concluded that roughly about 57% of online users actually have a software that's been pirated, and most companies are starting to agree that it's mostly a service problem rather than a pricing problem. Now, an example of how obtrusive this DRM can be is an example with Ubisoft's game Anno 2070. Their DRM actually only allows you to activate it 3 times throughout the lifetime of when you own it. So this doesn't include having it installed in different computers. That actually counts against one of your three activation codes. And it's also very obtrusive because if you ever upgrade your hardware, that also counts against it. And you're only allowed 3 times, and it's very obtrusive because once those 3 activation codes are up, then you basically don't own it anymore according to them. And yeah, that's my claim.
All right, the background introduction stuff was okay. I think it set up the controversy a little bit, and that you do tell us basically what your point of view is, that the DRM doesn't work, it's not the best solution. I thought that you had a nice piece of testimony, you gave us a good source citation on that, and it's all directly quoted, so that part's good. Later on, you get to something that you claim is an example, but it's actually a statistic. I put it in the statistic category, and that's fine. And then you also had an example, so you hit all 3 of those supporting types of information. That's exactly what you needed to do there. You did a good citation on the first 2 points. On the Ubisoft game, I think you could give us a source citation on it, but it is an example, so it's easy to pick out. The material seemed reasonably well organized. The presentation is a little bit problematic because you have a tendency to look down, and chewing the gum is really distracting while you're giving a speech. And every time it pokes out the corner of your mouth, it's like, oh, really? That's not a good thing. So, let's pop the gun behind your ear before you get up and give your speech, guys. All right.